Right, hello Year 10. Nice to see you. I'm out in the garden, sun shining, crows. My husband's shed, he likes it in his shed, it's got a bar in it. Anyway, we'll do the Prelude, okay? So, get your poetry books out, okay? Or find a copy of it somewhere and we'll do some work on that, okay? So I'll read it to you. I'm not going to leave gaps this time. I'm just going to read you the poem and then I've got you 4 tasks, okay? Open-ended, no right, wrong answers, just thinking and your interpretations, okay? And there's my phone. It's probably Mrs. Wood. Oh yeah. Oh, Mrs. Reed. Oh, and Mrs. Carey. Hello, say hello. Okay, so the Prelude. One summer evening, led by her, I found a little boat tied to a willow tree within a rocky cove, its usual home. Straight I unloosed her chain and stepping in pushed from the shore. It was an act of stealth and troubled pleasure, nor without the voice of mountain echoes did my boat move on, leaving behind her still on either side small circles glittering idly in the moon, until they melted all into one track of sparkling light. But now, like one who rose proud of his skill to reach a chosen point with an unswerving line, I fixed my view upon the summit of a craggy ridge, the horizon's utmost boundary. Far above was nothing but the stars and the grey sky. She was an elfin pinnace. Lustily I dipped my oars into the silent lake, and as I rose upon the stroke, my boat went heaving through the water like a swan. When, from behind that craggy steep till then the horizon's bound, a huge peak, black and huge, as if with voluntary power instinct, upreared its head. I struck and struck again, and growing still in stature, the grim shape towered up between me and the stars, and still, for so it seemed, with purpose of its own and measured motion, like a living thing, strode after me. With trembling oars I turned, and through the silent waters stole my way back to the covert of the willow tree. And there in her mooring place I left my bark, and through the meadow homeward went in grave and serious mood. But after I'd seen that spectacle, for many days my brain worked with a dim and undetermined sense of unknown modes of being. O'er my thoughts there hung a darkness, call it solitude or blank desertion. No familiar shapes remained, no pleasant images of trees, of sea or sky, no colours of green fields, but huge and mighty forms that do not live like living men, moved slowly through the mind by day, and were a trouble to my dreams. Okay, so this is William Wordsworth. There he is, one of our romantic poets. Okay, from the Lake District. Wrote a lot about the Lake District, so I don't know if you've been there, but it's beautiful. So here are some tasks for you, okay? So, number 1, I want you to find out as much as you can about Wordsworth. I want you to find out as much as you can about his life. This is an autobiographical poem. So I want you to think about his attitude to nature, the power of nature, and how that's reflected in this poem, okay? Number 2, I want you to split the poem into sections. So think about the different actions that take place and the stages of this narrative poem. Maybe taking the boat to start with, a sense of confidence, a sense of fear, some kind of change, and some kind of aftermath, the thinking that happens afterwards. So how do the descriptions change in each of those sections of the poem, and how does the language and how does the tone change as it moves on? Okay, number 3, this is a long section of an even longer poem. So can you find the rest of it? Can you find the rest of the poem? So think about its structure, the bit we've got anyway. Think about its structure. Think about the rhythm, the meter, the rhyme scheme. Think about the use of enjambment, caesura, the volta that's towards the end. Why do you think Wordsworth structured it in this way? Okay. Number 4. I want you to look at some websites about the Lake District. I want you to sort of know the Lake District a bit better and see if you can find where Wordsworth set this. Can you find the lake? Can you find the mountain? Can you find which part of the lake he took the boat from? Because it is real. This is based on his childhood. So produce some artwork to represent that story, that part of the narrative. Oh, there's someone else talking to me. Oh, look at all these people. Okay, so produce some artwork and maybe sort of embed your quotations in it so you can sort of see the mountain or see the waves, see the moon and the stars, and so you could actually make it into quite a graphic representation of this poem. Okay, have fun. I'll see you again soon. Bye.